Great. Well, thank you again, everybody, for joining here today, either your morning or afternoon. We greatly appreciate it. Today's channel-only webinar titled Agile and Scalable Storage for Today's Growing Enterprise. This is Don Lopes from Nexenta. Thank you so much again for taking your time. I'm joined here today by our great partner, HGST, and we're extremely excited. I mean, this is a partnership which we've been working with for many, many years, and we've been working hard kind of behind the scenes. And again, very, very excited to share a little bit of the work we've been doing and some of the things that we're launching early in 2018. So really in the session, you're going to have a great chance to hear a little bit more from both organizations about the latest, greatest in the partnership and some of the work we've been doing, and get a bit of a little heads up to some of the things that you as a partner can take advantage of going into 2018, and hopefully work with us both to grow your business and start fast. So with that, Ricardo, do you mind switching to the next slide?
Yes. It should be there.
So perfect. Thank you. So again, this is Don. I'm joined by Chris and Martin from HGST. Chris, Martin, do you guys mind introducing yourselves?
Sure. This is Chris Cannon, business development in the storage category. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening in Europe. These are exciting times for storage, and we really appreciate you participating and listening.
And my name is Martin Moody. I'm the Western Region Field Sales Rep for the Legacy HGST team, and soon to be under the Western Digital banner.
Thanks, guys. And Ricardo, tell us a little about yourself.
Thank you. This is Ricardo Antuna. I manage partnership strategic relationships for Nexenta, and have the pleasure to be working with the WD, HGST, and formerly SanDisk teams for a while. Thank you, Don.
Great. One final housekeeping item. We actually are recording this session. Actually, two items. Apologize. We're recording this session, so you'll have the recording available to go back and listen, share with others in your organization, and the accompanying slides. So we'll get that to you folks here within about 24 hours of this session. And the second item is the lines are muted just to avoid background noise or other disruptions while we're going through this webinar. But we do want to try to make this interactive as much as possible. So please use the questions section of the side control panel there, and we'll be jumping in. One of us will be jumping in as those come through, so that we can really make this the best we can in an interactive way, address your questions, get you your answers, and make this hopefully a very productive next 30, 40 minutes. Ricardo, next slide. So, as partners and as partners, I'm sure of Nexenta, HGST, and been selling into the enterprise for some time. These sort of the traditional challenges and things in which you guys are working and addressing. I'm not going to go deep into that. You guys live and breathe that, but wanted just to pause briefly to set the table a little bit for our discussion. That one of the key things we are really trying to deliver and have been working on both sides, in our independent solutions, but also in partnership, is really bringing this no compromise solution, right? So we've really felt we've had the enterprise feature sets that a lot of organizations have been looking for, and it really shows through our mutual customer bases, right? But we know that as we look at making it easier for partners to adopt this in your organization and for you to deliver this into your customers, we needed to give you and maintain the flexibility and agility that this model brings to you, but needed to look at how we continue to simplify everything from the supply chain to the day-to-day interactions with our systems and our solutions. Ricardo, next slide. So So again, what we're trying to do here is take this partnership in which Nexenta HGST have been working with for quite some time, and we've been deploying, probably at this point, hundreds of petabytes into some of the biggest service providers, healthcare organizations, universities around the world. And we've been working close together, been certifying our solutions, been working a lot with our partners, right? And making sure you had the resources, tools, everything available for you to be successful. But we wanted to, really further that a little bit more and address some of the other questions and concerns our customers have had. And hopefully in today's sessions, we're going to really talk more about some of those things in which we're pulling together. So with that, I'm going to give it over to Chris here to talk a little bit about some of the things HGST is doing and some of the solutions and direction in which they're going that really helps us bring this together. Chris?
Yeah, so when you think of the HGST brand from Western Digital, there are three things that come to the top of your mind: innovation, quality, and reliability. HGST is a great partner when it comes to storage solutions. And our devices, and most recently storage platforms, have been used in several petabytes, hundreds of petabytes of Nexenta deployments over the past 10 years. So what are we gonna do for you is that we're simplifying the storage piece of your software-defined strategy by taking our high-quality devices and vertically integrating it into your storage platforms that create an unbeatable value and TCO for our customers. So I wanted to share what is our vision at WDC. At Western Digital, we continue to provide innovative storage products that deliver value. So you, as a partner, a customer, can focus on the core activities of your business and not have to worry, stay up in the night thinking about the storage building blocks in your data center. Now, if you ask me, how do we go around doing that? Well, let me actually start off with devices. So if you look at it, we started really small, perfected our strategy on devices. And as you know, if you've been following the press, we have been vertically integrated on HDDs for years. The past couple of years, we are now vertically integrated on SSDs. And we have taken baby steps, taken out enclosures, and starting to integrate those high quality HDDs and SSDs and deploying them, as you see here, with our JBODs and JBOF enclosure on the screen. We're able to optimize the total package for the enterprise use, whether it's lowest vibration profile or temperature, or a packaged TCO warranty that far exceeds the value in what you would get if you were to buy individual components and do it yourself. So how are we making your software-defined strategy easy? Doing this by enabling your success by creating storage building blocks that you can use whether the enterprise is scaling out or scaling up. So in closing, three distinct value props come to my mind in our vision. One, vertical integration I talked about, which is taking our devices to create advanced storage solutions from JBODs, JBOFs to storage servers, where majority of the cost of the bill of materials is storage, to cutting edge advanced storage servers that will be based on NVMe. The second value prop is time to market, as customers can simplify the supply chain for storage needs by buying a completely tested and packaged solution, then trying to piecemeal the various components themselves. The third and final distinct value prop that comes to mind is that customers can now buy a complete storage solution from us and rest assured that they're getting world-class advanced technology, quality product with the highest total cost of ownership. Now, if you look at the next slide, want to give you a brief preview into our platform roadmap, and we can have side discussions based on if you want to deep dive into these components. But as we embark on this journey of creating storage building blocks, let me share where we were looking from a cold tier to a hot tier for the data storage. Just like our devices story that we talked about, we started small a couple of years back in our platform business, offering our devices in the HDD hybrid platform that you see on your right-hand side corner, the 720 terabyte 4U. This is the second generation fully optimized enclosure that scales up to 720 terabytes. As we move from right to left, you see us able to offer even higher density enclosures that could scale as high as 1.4 petabytes in a single 4U. We'll talk in more detail about this new family in our next webinar. But if I can get your attention to move up to the green highlighted portion, we'll focus in today's call on the data tier that's medium to hot, which has the 184 terabyte 2U all flash enclosure, which is based on SAS SSDs. And this enclosure can scale up to 184 terabytes using 8 terabyte SSDs. And finally, the really hot tier, that is storage servers. And as I mentioned before, this is based on NVMe, which is the latest technology in the market in the storage industry. These are 2U 24 NVMe drives and come in two flavors, one for fast storage with single node and a follow-on product that is a high available storage server with dual nodes. So the underlying theme of our roadmap is to continue to create value for our customers, partners, by offering innovative storage products that are vertically integrated, allowing you to buy your building block at the best possible TCO.
Hey, Chris, appreciate that. On the next slide, we're going to get into some initial use cases. But one thing I'd like to just pause for a second is, again, I mentioned we've been working together for quite some time, but we really do see some of the innovation in which HGST and WD are making this be an opportunity for us to take advantage of things, and this being in a sense a starting point for some of our partners. But the innovation isn't stopping, right? We're doing a lot of testing behind the scenes to continue to look at how we launch. Well, we're going to share more and get into these details here in a second, but make this really a building for more and more technologies and solutions for your customers based on what you shared here. So thank you for that. On the use cases, we wanted to highlight three really initial use cases that we've seen great success across our Nexenta customer base, but also in great partnership with HGST. The first there on the all left, I'm sure many of you have been seeing more and more flash workloads, interest from your customers, and a high growth in that area. We've seen some of the largest communications companies in North America look and move towards petabytes of data stored on all flash, and really moving towards more of an all flash data center, where they're combining multiple different workloads. So it's everything from some of their databases to actually some of their virtual workloads into a few different systems. So really looking at leveraging some of the inherent value in which an all flash data center can bring from cooling power and in some cases space, but also gaining performance and doing that as Chris mentioned, right, in a very cost-effective manner out there in the market. So again, I mentioned a large communications company that's doing that. We work with a number of different service providers around the world that have consumed this technology. One that we announced earlier this year was Peak 10, where they've moved towards disaster recovery as a service, right? So they're looking at running different tiers of service to their customers, leveraging all flash, and then delivering that back out as really disaster recovery, right? So something you may not consider as a traditional workload for flash, but they're able to provide those performance tiers and do it in a cost-effective way to provide a differentiated service to their customers. Virtual workloads has been a sweet spot for us for quite some time. That's running from everything from VMware, OpenStack, Microsoft, and supporting that. We've, again, got a number of technology companies that we leverage their virtual workloads. Again, another number of people that have built their clouds and services behind that. And then one area that continues to grow and has always been a nice spot for the solutions in which we offer and the technologies we're going to get deeper into here in a second is on the backup and archive. Part of it's to do with the abilities that we have from a software and hardware standpoint to hit that unbeatable TCO Chris mentioned. A lot of it's to do with the integration which we have with some of the other third-party backup solutions out there. And the other piece is the scale, right? We're able to do this in a scale manner that is valuable for our customers. So we've got some of the biggest healthcare organizations in North America and Europe leveraging this technology. We've got what we've seen a great pickup on is on areas around video surveillance or CCTV, everything from federal agencies, homeland securities in different countries that are doing everything from border control to capturing that information in other areas that they need to be able to store that data for a long time, do that in a cost-effective manner, but really have no concerns around performance or the feature set in which they're delivering. So that's kind of the high-level setup for the conversation. Now we're going to kind of get into the discussion on the solution itself. So on the next slide, what you'll see is how we've really looked at developing this solution, and we're focusing on, from an Nexenta standpoint, our flagship technology. We do have other solutions out there that do scale outs and offer other services there, which we're working with HGST on for future technologies. But in today's session, really focusing on the Nexenta Store product and how we are able to deliver and support some of the leading platforms and leading use cases that I just described that I'm sure a lot of your customers have been and have needs for today, and technology that will be agile and flexible for them in the future. So we kind of internally have been calling this sort of the three-layer cake. I think there's a fourth layer too around the service and integration that we're simplifying here too, and is a great opportunity for our partners. But today we're going to talk a little bit about how the Nexenta solution, along with the choice and flexibility we bring across the server architecture and the different technologies on the HGST side, how the combination of those three provide, again, the flexibility that allows you to service and support those different workloads I just discussed on the previous slide, but also hopefully simplify some of the moving parts that traditionally have been there on delivering a software-defined model that in some cases has asked our partners to kind of figure out, but it's also maybe made it a little bit tough for some customers to consume. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Ricardo. And Ricardo, maybe you can get a little bit more into the specifics of the layers and give the group and the partners here some more information on the technologies, please.
Thank you, Don. So coming a little bit deeper into the solution, just to guide the conversation, Don referred to a four-layer cake, and then on the technology, specifically 3 layers, right? And thinking of the layers as one layer is the software from Nexenta. We're referring to Nexenta Store. Many of you might be familiar with Nexenta Store. We're going to drill down into the specifics of the latest and greatest on Nexenta Store in upcoming slides. The next layer is the storage controllers, which in this case, under the software-defined philosophy, we're referring to standard x86 servers. And in the case of work that we have done at Nexenta in the past, we support servers from many vendors out there, hopefully the vendors that you prefer and your customers prefer. Last but not least, we're referring to the storage capacity, right, with the platforms from HGST, and specifically trying to look into, addressing different types of workloads, as Don mentioned in the prior slide, right, with a focus on performance and a focus on capacity. So how does the solution work? In this slide on the left side, the diagram, right, we're referring to 2 storage controllers, x86 servers, again, Cisco, Dell, Lenovo, Supermicro, and SAS attached storage platform from HGST with either, all flash, hybrid, or all hard disk drive configurations. So that's how we are looking into this solution. We're going to drill down into each one of the layers and give you the specifics of what we're talking about. And again, right, one layer is the storage software, Nexenta Store. Another layer is the controllers. Third layer is or maybe the first layer, I should call it, the platforms from HGST. Specifically, we're referring to their 4U 60-bay system and also to their 2U24 JBOF system. So to drill down, we're first going to drill down into these platforms, and I'm going to let Martin Moody from HGST and Western Digital to drill down and give you the specifics there.
Thanks, Don, and good morning again, everybody. So the first product from the hardware side that we're going to highlight is the HGST 2U24 flash storage platform. This is designed for both the enterprise and the cloud. So the 2U24 really demands and addresses that segment of storage needs for large enterprise and cloud service providers. The performance on this is really good. It's up to 4.7 million IOPS with 23 gigabytes per second, and that's less than 1 millisecond of latency. The platform is really an ideal solution for accelerating enterprise workloads, such as databases, virtualization, and scale-out configurations. The platform itself delivers up to 184 terabytes of raw storage capacity and can be connected to up to 6 hosts via the 12 gigabyte SAS 3 interface. And it also includes other specific features, including enterprise class availability with hot swappable SSDs, and other hot swappable components include the I/O modules and the power supply. And from the standpoint of just making sure that we kind of touch on some of the other things, it is fully upgradable. So the enclosure includes firmware that will deliver new innovations and higher capacity drives in the future without impacting your applications. There is a minimum population of 12 SSD, and then fully populated gets it up to 24 SSD, and then it's easily maintenance and accessible from front accessible hot swappable components. And then looking over on the next slide, Don, for the 4U60G2 storage platform, this is the generation in pure hard drive storage. It's designed for high availability storage applications. When you do the deep dive, it has 4 racks. Again, the 12 gigabyte second SAS 3 interconnect. It can hold up to 60 hard drives when fully populated in either the SAS or SATA format, and it's a minimum population of 24. The SCSI enclosure surfaces, and then again, this one is easily maintained by top accessible and hot swappable components, which also include the hard drives, the I/O module, and the power supply. The box also has redundant I/O modules for failover protection. It has connectivity in the back with up to 4 HD mini SAS ports per I/O module. And this second generation chassis also has a more robust cable management arm with no restriction to the back door or any blockage of the power cables. So we really improved upon the first generation, kind of took a lot of feedback from the marketplace and launched the second generation, which has been widely adopted in our customer base.
Great, thanks, Martin. Hey, Ricardo, thank you. Ricardo, we had a couple questions come in from James, and you may know these answers as we move into the more sort of Nexenta side of things and how we brought some of the integration together. But he asked, one question is, you mentioned 6 to 12 gigabit per second SAS. Where are you on 24 and NVMe?
I'm reading the question. Give me a second.
Okay.
So 24 gig SAS, from an Nexenta point of view, we are in the process of adding support for that. In this case, these two platforms are 12 gig SAS capable. So, you know, I leave up to the HGST team to let us know if there's going to be a 24 gig version of these solutions. With regards to NVMe, today Nexenta Store supports NVMe for our read and write, specifically, obviously the write caching. That's available and supported today. For general storage capacity, the solution is still upcoming on a fully NVMe based solution.
Yeah, just to add to that, from a hardware perspective, we see 12 gig SAS going well into the next couple of years. From a performance standpoint, we see NVMe coming in pretty much middle of next year to end year, where it's going to become main store performance tier. So that could possibly push out the 24 gig SAS. So it all depends on how successful NVMe is going to be in the infrastructure from a SAN and NAS perspective. So, you know, that remains to be seen, but we are ready to support 24 gig SAS as well, you know, if the timing is correct. But I think the next couple of years will be the year for NVMe.
Thank you, Chris.
Ricardo, I'm not sure if you also see the second question there from James on how do you scale out only using one channel in SAS?
So this solution, I'm sorry, I'm messing with the slides here. This solution actually is not a single channel SAS channel, right? That's why one of the updates on the larger capacity on the 4U, and Martin touched on this, is that, you know, it has multiple channels, right? So the solution in what we have tested, and this was on a prior slide, and I think I failed to mention this, so apologies, James. We can scale up to, in the case of the 4U, and also for the 2U, up to four chassis. You would need to add more SAS HBAs to the server, right? So that changes a little bit the configuration on the storage controller. But this both JBOF and JBOD have been nicely designed to be able to take multiple path SAS connections, so that you can add additional capacity. For use cases of archiving, the number of JBODs that can be attached can be expanded to 6 and 8 by doing daisy chaining. For other type of workloads, for a Nexenta point of view, our best practices dictate that we don't want to do that, and we want to continue to have a dual path approach to the connecting to the storage platforms.
Thanks, Ricardo. So getting into the Nexenta side of updates, you know, first I want to mention, you know, anyone looking to get, you know, deeper in continue to harden the technology, continue to deliver, and listen to our customers and our partners on some of the enhancements that we're looking for, but also really simplify the user experience from end to end as they're working with the technology. So same still core solutions around offering file and block, unified, NFS, SIPs and SMB, and nice good fiber channel. All the features that you've had in the past around inline data reduction, snapshots, clones, etc. We added quality of service for customers, right? So I talked about Peak 10 is one example of how they're tiering and offering different levels of service to really make sure that their customers got the performance that in a sense they paid for. We've also seen some of our customers look at kind of managing and using some of the features there to manage, in a sense, noisy neighbor sort of environments and needs, or someone consuming too much of the technology. And then we continue to enhance things around the replication side, around scheduling and continuous replication. Another big piece that we enhanced on the latest generation of Nexenta Store was around our VMware integration. So continued to evolve our certifications and keep up and qualify there, but rebuilt our vCenter plugin. You'll see a snapshot or a picture of that here in a second, where those environments where you want to provide some access and usability to those VMware users in an organization, you've got a nice, simple, familiar user interface to do so. And then again, we've worked hard with HGST on certifying and qualifying these two solutions, but also making sure across the different server vendors that you work with and your customers are looking to leverage, that we have fully tested, fully qualified Lenovo, Cisco, Dell, Supermicro systems and configurations according to each of these different solutions. So really to give you the reassurance from a certification standpoint that all these technologies are been tested and right for your customers, and then also try to enhance some of the features and make this usability much richer. Ricardo, next slide. The foundation of a lot of the things which we've done to give us the flexibility and the ease of management is all built off of the self-documenting REST APIs. So this is actually how we've built the architecture to deliver our user interface to Nexenta Fusion. But we've also seen a lot of our customers utilize these APIs for their own business to pull different analytics out of the system or integrate into other third-party solutions. So I think that's something that is a great adder and added flexibility to this technology that our partners can also bring value to and work with our customers on delivering more needs and more services out to their customers. You'll see a screenshot of the UIs and the different systems there. The nice thing about Nexenta Store and Nexenta Fusion as its management and analytics platform is you're able to really now drive and see different systems, right, and get into the different systems across your customer's architecture, so it's easy for them to get the analytics or do your day-to-day administration. And then you'll see there on that sort of third image a snapshot of the one system itself. So you can see sort of the two controllers with the enclosure and the little icon there. It tells you it's a high availability configuration, and then you can start seeing some of the reporting and analytics on that system itself. And then hopefully again you can see the familiar VMware vCenter integration and UI that again enables the partners and customers to easily leverage their Nexenta Store instances and platform, get some analytics, but also provide some of the administration that they may need for their day in, day out storage needs. So again, I know I went through that rather fast in terms of the updates on Nexenta Store. There are resources out there if you'd like to learn more. Ricardo, on the next slide.
Should be there.
Perfect. So we've mentioned and talked through some of this, so I don't want to be redundant, but I think it's important for everyone to know we've gone and worked close with our partners across to really certify and simplify these solutions to offer again an enterprise rich technology on the software side, flexibility on the controller side, and then the different configurations on either performance or capacity. All of these technologies are on the Nexenta latest hardware compatibility list and reference architecture guides. So you can go right into that right now and look at those solutions and have those configurations available. As I mentioned, we're doing upfront, we're doing this sort of webinar a little early to give our partners a bit of a heads up and be familiar with some of the technologies in which we're going to be launching and some of the go-to-market activities I'll be talking about here in a second. One of the things that we want to work with our partners deeper on, and we've also worked with some of our distributors here, or one of our distributors here in North America, and are in the process of working with some of the distributors in Europe on, is taking each of these different sort of layers and further simplifying them, right? And trying to provide you set configurations based on the performance. We've also got some hybrid configurations or more archive configurations in these simple increments that allow you to go and say, I need this set capacity. I've got a half or a full populated enclosure. I've easily got the Nexenta licensing set that I need for that configuration. And if I'm looking for this to run on, say, a Dell R720, I can easily go and in this example in North America, work with Cynix, request that. They already have the build of materials on file for that and can turn around a quote in a very simple, easy fashion. The other piece that we're doing to this is also building and making some recommendations on some of the configurations and installation around the RAID and sort of needs which get ideal for those particular use cases. And so what we've tried to do is to say, hey, if you're looking at, again, an all-flash use case and you want to run it on Lenovo, here's the simple SKUs, here's the recommended configuration, here's the pricing that's available, and allow you to have a simple way to deliver that out to your customers. We're working with across the different distributors to also package that and install the software on the systems themselves and then deliver that out to your customers. So if you want to take advantage of those components as a partner, the great thing is we're working and finalizing a lot of that right now. So when we launch this in early January, all of those will be completed. If you'd like to, as a partner, really take on some of that and provide that for either your different regions, or if that's an added service in which you'd like to deliver to your partners, we're happy and excited to also do that. So with that, I'm going to move to the next section on the go-to-market and some of the exciting things we're working with the HGST team on launching in early January. So we wanted to not just deliver these solutions out to our partners and ask you to go and help find customers, but we wanted to go and start doing some of those activities to build awareness, build the enablement for yourselves, and also then hopefully go and build some of the lead generation that delivers you those first initial opportunities to go and win. So what we've done to get things started and have a bit of a pillar activity is we've worked with one of the leading storage analyst groups out there, ESG, where we've asked them to really look and analyze this technology and compare that to some of the analysis and some of the studies in which they've done across their customer base. And they're pulling together what is going to be a rather exciting and interesting short white paper. And so we're going to be publishing that white paper around the third week of January. And as part of that launch and release of that white paper, we're also going to be doing another one of these webinars with ESG and HGST and Nexenta for our end customers. And so, the nice thing is this will give you a bit of a compelling action for anybody that you feel might be interested within your customer base that can go learn and have some resources and a sense of landing spot for that. And then, as you can see here, some other activities in which we're doing at Nexenta and HGST to go and drive individuals to that and drive individuals back to our partners that are committing to be behind this. So we're going and doing some activities around Google AdWords to get the word out there and drive some traffic. We've also invested in some targeted lists that we feel would be right for these technologies, are doing some call campaigns, some email campaigns on our own to drive with our partners. And then, the final piece of this we're working on and we'll be finalizing here to the launch in January is some promotions and spiffs for our partners, right? So we want to be able to provide you the toolkit and resources certified in a simple manner through our partners and through yourselves. We want to provide some lead generation and some activities that drive some interest and get people excited about this while giving them a platform to learn more. We feel that we've got an exciting set of technologies that are priced extremely aggressive, provide a great ROI, but further want to provide some promotions and some activities that hopefully make this an extremely profitable engagement for all of our partners out there. So from this, we'll open it up to questions here in a second in closing remarks, but really three quick asks from our partners that are either live here or listening to this on recording. One is, we've gone through the technologies themselves and the programs at a really high level here today, but on the last slide you'll see, we want to sit down and chat with you more, right? And want to build a plan with you and the one that makes sense to go and drive this. And we've intentionally done this webinar, in early December, and built a go-to-market more in later in January to give us those cycles and time to sit down and train your team, qualify solutions, build those, and maybe even get some early customers adoption. Right? There's the technology is ready to go, and if there's anything that this is right for, we're excited to go get those early wins. So that way, as we go and do the broader launch, you've got everything you need, and we're really going out and focusing on executing it from a sales and engagement from a prospect standpoint. In North America, we're working with Cynics and are very close to having this packaging done, but you can reach out to these guys right now and start getting quotes on this technology, each of the different components. If you need the SKUs, again, let us know those different solutions in which you're interested in. We can easily work with you on that. We'll be keeping you aware of as we worldwide roll this out to more of the different regions. But if there's some markets out there where you'd like to lead this with us, again, please reach out to us and let us know. And then again, keep your eyes open for invites to the webinar. If you'd like to also invite some of your customers, we can provide you some unique links that track that back in our system, so we know that those leads we only share back with you on calling and following up, and that way you can also leverage some of the exciting activities we've got going on with the webinar and the white paper in early next year. So hopefully 3 simple actions, and again, really we want to get you guys engaged now, answer your questions now, and so with that, I'll turn it back over to maybe start with Chris and Martin. Any closing remarks or anything you want to maybe mention as we're wrapping up here?
Yeah, I'll kick it off. I just wanted to close with bringing us back to the key aspect of innovation that we talked from a storage perspective, which has been always our DNA. I'm not sure if everyone remembers, but the world's first hard drive, the RAMAC, was something that was invented in our facilities. So we continue to innovate, and we've been continuing to innovate for the coming decades, not only from hard drive, but to enterprise SSDs. And with our latest focus on storage platforms, we're able to give you that peace of mind so that you can rest assured that you're buying a storage building block from us.
Access